3, 2, and 1. They're slowly coming in. Hello,
Yeah,
hello, hello, everyone.
come on
Uh,
in.
Come on in, and we're going to get started right now. It is 3 o'clock on the dot, and please excuse the typo on the original card screen. I think it said 3:30, but it's actually Holly's session begins
Woo!
at 3 o'clock on the dot.
Casey, you
Um,
had me worried because I was like, I have my time wrong. I texted you about it. I was so worried.
no, 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 it's okay. We got it. We got it. So here's the thing. We have a middle school. Holly is a middle school librarian. She hails from the great state of Georgia, and I want everyone to welcome Holly Brown, who
Yay.
will be giving the presentation Easy Passive Programming. You can take it away.
All right. Good afternoon. I see one of my fellow media specialists in my district on. Tiana, thank you for coming. I'm so glad you're here. I see a lot of my internet friends, which is so my online friends. Passive programming. I'm so grateful to talk to you about this. We'll go ahead and get started. Um, my name is Holly Brown, and I'm in my seventh year as a media specialist. I started my career in elementary school. We had 1,000 students, 1,000 little bitty ones. It was so much fun. I'm starting my third year in a middle school. We have around 500 students. This is my second career. I started out as a children's pastor. I was a school technology specialist. Also worked in hospital IT, which is wild. If you've never gone in to fix a computer during a hip replacement, you haven't lived. It was the craziest thing ever. That may have been the point that I just knew I had to find something else to do. Um, we are a theater family. I have a 19-year-old who is in college minoring in musical theater. I have a 15-year-old that's starring in our local high school production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. He's Charlie Brown. If you knew him, you would know why. My husband's the light guy for many of the local shows around here, and I play the part of drama mama, and just do whatever I can do. I have always said that all of my previous jobs in my life have prepared me to be a media specialist. I know lots of you will agree that being a media specialist is the best job in the entire world. I don't have just 30 kids a day, I have the entire school. And I love that for me. And I think you probably like that part of your job too. So while many of these programs have been used at the middle school level, I think they could easily be adapted for elementary. And of course, you could use them in the high school library as well. But let's go ahead and get started talking about why I think um, that passive programming is so important. So, my first year as a middle school media specialist was the COVID year. And it was hard. It was hard for probably all of you as well. But I couldn't have any students in the media center. They couldn't come in to browse. There was no interacting. Um, I found one picture while I was looking for these pictures. And all of this, I had some students in the media center. I can't remember why. They were all facing the same direction. One kid at a table, and even now it just breaks my heart because that's not what the media center is supposed to be. I place a lot of importance on relationship, and so even during those COVID times, I was trying to connect with kids, interact. I tried to do a weekly like media center live thing, and students didn't really catch on to that. I did have a few faithful students. I think they may have just felt bad for me. I don't, I don't know. Um, but I knew I needed to do more because relationships really matter. And it's obvious that all of our students lost a lot during COVID. It's not just at my school. I've heard it from friends all over that when their students did get to come back in the building, there were more fights. Students didn't know how to talk to each other, um, just didn't know how to communicate in general anymore. So I knew that I needed to do something. So let's talk about what passive programming is. It's not just a library buzzword, it's something I think we all need in our lives. Um, Passive programming is for libraries with limited staff and budget. Do we all have limited staff and budget? I do. I don't have a para. I am lucky enough to have an adult that may sometimes come in and help. After Wendy's session today, I'm hoping I'm going to have some library ambassadors very soon. Um, so, this passive programming gives me the opportunity to still interact with students, have them in the media center, but also be able to take care of all of those other responsibilities that I have. So whether I am fixing a Chromebook for a student, um, or somebody said that their screen is blurry. I had that problem earlier with a few other people, so I don't know if that's me or whatever. Um, Let me get back to this. I can't look at the chat. So most of us have additional responsibilities. So passive programming allows me to have students build relationships in the media center, but I can still do the other parts of my job. So this programming is very, very informal, super informal. Um, I put items on the table along with instructions if it's a project or a game. The most important part is that everyone is encouraged to attend, not attend, but participate. Everybody can participate. And I love that about passive programming. So I've broken it down into two separate areas. We have online passive programming and in person passive programming. I'm going to get tongue tied at some point. So I'm probably just going to start using programming, and you'll know that I'm talking about passive programming. So for our online programming, I normally use Instagram or Google Forms. Um, for our middle and high schoolers, I know for a fact they have Instagram. Elementary, I would never suggest my elementary students um, get on Instagram or any social media for that matter. But I know our students have it, and why not use it for good? So I do use Instagram, Google Forms. For School Library Month, I used an app. In that first picture, you can see I used an app to pixelate some book covers, and I used popular titles. I did that on purpose. Um, so I would have students participate, number one. But number two, I wanted them to be encouraged and feel like, oh, that's an easy one. I got that one. So I had some kids DM me their answers, and I told them to come and get a prize. Um, Also had some students come in the media center and say, "Oh, those were so easy, Miss Brown. That was Smile, and that was Naruto, and that was Refugee." So the cool thing about it is it caused kids that wouldn't normally come into the library to come into the library, even if it was just to get that airhead or that dum dum sucker thing. So that was fun. Um, Also during library week, I had some other in-person um, programming, but online I did a Google form. I sent out all the students, and it just said, "What's your all-time favorite book? Um, let me know what it is." And so I had a few students respond to that. Um, opened up the door for some great communication. Why did you like this book? Do you still like this book today? Things like that. My favorite one was the why I love my library um, question, and the responses were maybe a little verklempt because these were students that I never expected to hear from. And a lot of the answers were about relationships, that I took time to talk to them, things like that. So it made me feel good. And sometimes, y'all, sometimes we just need um, that little boost of encouragement. So that was really fun. So here are a few additional examples of this online programming. Um, of course, y'all know the name of that book, Smile. And I see everybody saying they love the pixelated book covers. Um, Sheila said that she did it, and I saw somebody do it online in my professional learning network. I don't remember who it was. And Sheila, if I saw yours, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It was something quick and easy, and it didn't take a lot of time to do. So Smile, that was a big one. I had kids that had not read that book, but they knew it. So that was cool. I also did a poetry month haiku contest, and the one that's here is was from an eighth grader. I think she nailed it. I honestly did not think I was going to have anybody participate. When I was in elementary, I did a whole presentation, a whole little class with uh, poetry month, the different types of poetry, haiku, and things like that. And this student wrote one. You can read it, hopefully. I think she did a really, really great job with that. Can you see the presentation? Because it looks weird on my side, and I'm worried that it's not looking like it's supposed to look.
We can see it.
Okay, it's just super small, or is it supposed to be like that?
Just a little on the small side, but it's still readable.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully we can. It'll be. I see. Okay, y'all can see it. It is a little on the small side, Doc, and I'm sorry, but It will be in the. It will be hopefully in the download that um, KC sends to us. The app that I used for the pixelated book covers, I don't remember the name of it. I looked on my phone to see. I will try to find it and I'll tweet it out later. Um, this last example is why I love the library. And there were, basically it was just because Miss Brown listens to us. She asked us what we wanted to see in the library, and she worked it out to where we could have those things. So I thought that was pretty neat. And as always, I always ask my students if I can use their ideas. Can I use their information online? I don't want to do that and then be embarrassed by something they said. I don't use their full name, but I do ask for permission. I think that's important. So, full disclosure, we're going into um, in person passive programming, my favorite. I do have a flexible schedule. Students come in for about 15 minutes at a time. Right now, I do see a few of my district librarians on, and they know right now we don't have time for even students to come in and do the normal library things. And probably a lot of you are like that too. But when things get back to normal, um, students will have about 15 minutes in the media center. If they come to check out a book and they find their book in 5 minutes, they have 10 minutes to chill. Um, if if they take if they just want to come for 15 minutes to hang out, I'm okay with that too. I do ask the teacher um, to make sure that they have their work completed, before they come, because I don't want to interrupt any instructional time. So I love my professional learning network. Someone posted photos of this make your own book heart craft, and I knew I could do it. I had plenty of weeded books that I couldn't get rid of. So I had all of the items I needed. It was something I could do super quick. I did go through and recreate the directions to make it just a little bit easier. Um, with this time that I did it, I did cut the paper strips to the proper size. If I do it again, I won't do that part because it was a little bit of work on my end. But I'll let the students do it next time. And this photo to the right just shows you why passive programming is so important. I have an eighth grade student there hanging out with two sixth graders. Um, I thought that was just really cool. Two of these girls came in every day and would just hang out. So that really made my heart happy for them to work together on that um, program. Another one that we did, this was an original idea, and it literally popped into my head. For spooky season, I don't call it Halloween just because you never know what someone's belief is. So I just call it spooky season. And I purchased the eyeballs for the display and bought the little basket. But I wanted them to be functional. Like I couldn't just have the eyeballs on display. So I decided to add the genre, just wrote it on there. And this, I laugh at my own jokes more than anybody. I told Casey that. I laugh at my own jokes. So I created a sign that said, need an idea of what to read. And so kids would come in. If they didn't know what to read, they would pull out a genre and read it off. And then I would show them where that genre was in the media center. Cheap, super, super cheap. Um, Anyone can do this. I bought a few of the eyeballs at Dollar Tree and the little bowl. So, I mean, maybe I may have $5 in that, and I'll be able to use it again as well. So that was pretty fun. Um, so I laugh at the. I mean, I just think I'm the most creative person ever when it comes to things like that because I think it's hilarious. I may have one student that has a good sense of humor that may think it's funny. Um, but I'm gonna keep being the weird library person and yeah. So card games, super, super easy. Um, my students last year I had a group of ESOL students that would come into the library every day while they waited on their teacher to come from another school. So I got to build relationships with them. And one day they were sitting at the table and they were, I mean, you would have thought they were having like a high stakes poker game over there. So I walk over there. I'm like, what are y'all doing? They thought they were going to be in trouble. They were not. Um, they were bringing their own cards. So I saw someone on Twitter or Instagram once again that said they had purchased these jumbo Uno cards. Look how big these Uno cards are, y'all. Loved them. I think they were about maybe $15 on Amazon, but they are so fun and they've been a big hit. But I also found some of the mini Uno cards at the Librarian Superstore. Somebody in the chat, tell me what the Librarian Superstore is. Do it quick. Somebody tell me what the Librarian Superstore is. Anybody? Anybody? Amazon. Costs too much. Amazon costs too much. Anybody? Demco, what? Kelly, you get the prize. I don't have one for you. But Dollar Tree is the Librarian Superstore. They have the mini Uno cards. Look how cute those little cards are. They're so, so cute. So I found those over the summer. I bought 2 packs of them. Will they walk out? probably, but it's okay. And then, as you can see, some students would rather build with them. Um, that's fine with that. I'm fine with that. I think just unplugging and interacting with each other is good. And I heard one of the kids say, "This is like the olden days." The olden days. Um, Maybe the good old days. I don't know. It just makes them feel like they're kids again.
Five
So
more minutes.
5 minutes. Come on. Okay. So just talking. Have I timed myself earlier? So I do have some in-person literacy. No, no, no. Wait a minute. Hold on. All right. So this, I've got my speaker's notes wrong. Auburnopoly, War Eagle, Jenga. I have kids that won't play Jenga, but they'll build. Once again, going back to the olden days, the good old days. And I actually had a business teacher that brought her kids in. They played the Monopoly game. That's business related. They also played with some of my jumbo cards that I have, like playing cards. They said they were doing math games. I don't know if they were. All I can say is I thought they were doing math games. So if they were playing poker, I don't know. Also, I like to have some literacy programming. Um, Boggle was a huge hit. I had some seventh graders come in. They had never heard of Boggle before, ever. They told their friends. Then their friends came in. They were like, "My friend said you had this game where you like shake up." It was the craziest thing. The baking sheet and the magnetic letters, once again from Dollar Tree. Um, banana gang, banana? It's in my notes. Bananagrams. I got those from Goodwill. Also, Lauren, I am not paying attention to you putting red and black on my comments. Goodwill, another great place to find things. Love Goodwill. Um, Next, I do have some um, create and take areas. The coloring, everybody loves to color. The beads in the middle, some of those came from Dollar Tree, some of them came from Amazon. I'm excited about those. Shout out to KC. I knew what perler beads were, but I didn't know the proper name for them. So shout out to KC for that. Our district, we went to clear our mesh backpacks for middle and high. So hopefully they'll come in and make a little key ring, a keychain, to, make their backpack less boring and gross. All right. So I know I only have a few seconds left. This is my most favorite in-person passive programming. Would you rather questions? So we have clear touch panels in our media centers. So I just went into the part where you draw and typed up and wrote some of these questions. Students would gather around, they'd make their choice, and of course they wanted to defend their answers. This particular question was, would you rather have a pause button or a rewind button in your life? And this question, y'all, it brought up some deep conversations, even with the adults too. I had teachers that would come by and say, "What's the question of the day?" So it's another way to get your teachers into the media center. That programming is for everyone. So another couple of questions: would you rather be able to slide down rainbows or jump on clouds? Would you rather be super strong or super fast? You can Google all of those questions. If you can't think of something, it happens. Last but not least, this Lego board, I don't know if it's going to be a hit or not. I've got about $25 in it. I bought all of the blue wall tile, the little flat plates, from Dollar Tree. Again, they were $1.25. Can't believe that. I also do puzzles. I saw somebody had that. Puzzles, the only thing is you need to have a designated space, because if somebody works on that Harry Potter puzzle for 2 days in a row and somebody comes by and decides to move something around, they're like, life may end. I mean, it's bad. So have a designated area for your puzzles. Um, let's see what else. Oh, this little Twitter thing. It was passive. I just printed up some little word bubbles and had students do like short, like Twitter kind of reviews. And then I posted them on our door along with a big, huge Twitter bird. Um, but yeah, I've passive programming is so important to me. I'm going to close it up now. Um, we got to do the relationship before we do the rigor. Just think about Maslow's, little triangle, the hierarchy of needs. Relationships are so important, and for some of our students, you're the only smile they're going to get. You are the only hug, the only kind word they're going to hear all day, and that's the reality for us and for our students. So please make just know that your job matters. Um, you matter to the kids. I hope that you'll connect with me. I know I already follow a bunch of y'all, but I would love for you to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, so we can share some more ideas.
All right. Thank you, Holly. And I want to take this time to see if we have any questions in the chat for Holly on the topic of passive programming. If you have a question, please be sure to put it in the chat, and I will read it out loud for Holly to read. Right now, you're getting a lot of thank yous. People
Yay!
have enjoyed your presentation. And I like this for comment. Yes, relationship rigor. The library is a refuge for some.
Yes.
I make my library a refuge. You are
Yeah.
so right on that.
It's a refuge for me. I mean, in most of your libraries probably they become the place you're a counselor. Your teachers come in and just unload some kind sometimes, and our students need to have that safe place too. So, thanks for listening today, y'all. I would love to connect with you online. Thank you for being kind to me today. This is my first presentation like this. I was
Oh,
kind of nervous, but to be able to present to 104 of you is amazing. So I appreciate you guys.
you tackled this like an old pro. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate. I mean, coming from you, that means a lot. So I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, thank you. Again, more comments are coming in. Thank you guys. I'm just trying to pop them up on the screen so she can see them.
I appreciate you.
Excellent idea. Excellent presentation. So we're going to take double check this. We are going to take a 15-minute break from 3:30 until 3:45. So we're going to meet back at 3:45, and we're going to have our last three sessions of the afternoon. So we'll see you in about 15 minutes, everyone. And Holly, hold on just a second. Okay.
Okay.